What's up, guys? So in this video, I'm going to go over how to fix your supply and demand trading. A lot of times people trade supply and demand and price will just go right through their zone and they don't know what they're doing wrong. And today, this video, I'm going to show you exactly why that happens and how to fix it. So let's go ahead and dive right into it, show you a few different examples and exactly what that is. So there's a few different components when it comes to that, and it mainly has to do with trend. Okay, so you've seen me talk about trend before, but I'm going to dive into it here and how it relates to supply and demand. Okay, so this will help you determine who's really in control when trading and looking at the trend. So looking at zoom, if I zoom out here, you can see if we go from early 2021 down to now, it's very easy to tell that we're in a downtrend, right? Price is making lower lows and lower highs, and we've been doing that ever since, and you can just tell price has been going lower. So when price is in a downtrend, right, demand is not going to hold, right? If demand and supply always holds, then price is just going to be range bound, right? Price is never going to move if supply and demand is always holding. Eventually, supply and demand has to break. And how you know which one will break is based on the trend, right? So if we're in a downtrend, something like this, right, all of these demand zones are going to break. Okay, all of these demand zones are going to break. So we're in a downtrend. In an uptrend, in a downtrend, you would expect supply zones to hold as well. So you'd expect supply to hold, and you would expect demand to break. All right, it's a very simple rule that a lot of people kind of misconstrue, right? They don't typically remember that when they're trading. They'll just see any supply demand zone and trade off it, which is not what you should be doing. So let me go ahead and show you different examples here. So looking at zoom, right? Obviously, we're in a downtrend. Right now, how do I know? Because right here, price isn't an uptrend. If I zoom in on a 30-minute chart here, we go back to where that price action is, right? Price isn't an uptrend here, right? You see price moving up, higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, higher lows. So maybe saying, Jordan, well, why price is coming back down to this demand here and just goes right through it? Why? I thought we're in an uptrend. Price should continue to go higher. And the reason for that is because not only are you looking at shorter time frames, you need to zoom out, but you also need to understand who is in control. And you can tell who's in control by looking at which supply and demand zone is held the most recently. And what I mean by that is this, right? So if we zoom out, let me go back to the daily chart. So we can see that in this overall trend here, right, we're in a downtrend. The last supply zone we have is right here, right? So right about here. So we end up rejecting that supply. We this demand zone here. We also have this demand zone right here, which we end up breaking. But for now, we're just going to focus on these two. Okay, get rid of this one for now. So when price in a downtrend, this low, right? So the buyers that caused this demand right here, this low, was unable to get above this supply, right? So when we see something like this, right? When price comes, down, we hit supply, and now we're heading back lower. Sellers are still in control. As long as supply holds, sellers are in control. All right, it's very important to remember. If supply is holding, sellers are in control. If demand is holding, buyers are in control. And in this case, if we zoom in a little bit, right, we see we have another demand zone form here. It doesn't hold, right? We see that supply is able to take out this demand. Right, and this demand was unable to get above this supply. This demand was unable to take out this supply. So that means sellers are still in control, right? We're still in a seller's market. So you don't want to be buying this demand zone. Now, did it work out? Yes, right? We can see we can draw this gap here, small demand zone. Price came down. We held it. We had a small move higher, and we ended up going lower after. You definitely could trade it. You definitely could scalp it, right? There's lots of opportunity with supply and demand, even when you're not in the right trend. But if you're looking to increase your win rate, you're looking to take only A+ setups, high quality setups, you need to be going with the trend. You need to understand who's in control, right? So as soon as we see that this demand gets taken out, we know sellers are in control. And we know that this supply zone held as well. So there's two pieces of information telling us that sellers are in control. Actually three, right? Just the overall fact that we're in a longer time frame downtrend. Right, so you have multiple layers of confirmation telling you that sellers are in control and you do not want to be buying. So when price comes down to this demand, Obviously you could trade it. You could, take a quick scalp. It's a demand zone. It's a high quality one, right? We get that nice move higher. But eventually price is going to break that. And that's what you need to understand when you're trading supply and demand. You need to understand the higher time frame context, right? And so we can even zoom out even more, right? Now we have this high that was able to take out this demand here, right? So draw that in. We have this supply zone that was able to, these sellers here were able to take out this demand zone here. So we're still in a seller's market. We still know that sellers are in control. And when sellers are in control, you don't want to be buying, right? You can see we have another kind of demand zone here. We have this move lower, right? So we move lower, consolidate, fast price higher, right? And we come up, we hit supply. Is this demand, this low, able to get above the supply? Are we able to take out these sellers up here? No, right? We come up, we hit it, we reject, we end up breaking lower, right? So price comes back down. You may be thinking, well, I'm looking to get long down at this demand, right? We could even draw, this one right here. If you draw it from the high of this candle all the way down, we actually do. We hit that demand zone, okay? And we actually bounce up pretty good. We get a nice scalp, right? So I'm not saying you don't have to, disregard that demand zone. It's still a demand zone. But if you're looking for a longer term swing, you're looking to get bigger risk reward trades with a higher win rate, you need to understand the context of who's in control. And in this situation, sellers are still in control, right? This seller, these sellers here were able to take out the buyers down here. That means they are in control, right? We broke out this low. These buyers here were not able to get above these sellers here, right? We couldn't get above this high. So sellers are still in control. And then what happens? Price ends up going lower, okay? So when you understand that this is happening, you don't, you want to stay with the trend, right? Let me show you a few other examples here. So Piton, really good example. Beautiful example here, okay? Price in a downtrend, right? We have price heading lower. So we have this supply zone form here, right? This high here is able to take out this low. So now we know sellers are in control, right? This high takes out this low, sellers are in control. We come back up, price takes out this low, okay? Boom. Price takes out this low. Now we have this supply zone here, right? Sellers are still in control. But Jordan, wait. You can see price takes out this low, sellers are in control, and we end up going above it. Why did that happen? Higher time frame context, okay? At some point, trend is going to change, okay? Now, I don't necessarily know when, but at some point, trend is going to change. And when that does happen, you recognize it and you say, okay, now there's a shift in control of who's in, buyers or sellers are in control. And so now what happens, we see this shift, right? So now we would have expected this supply zone to hold, and it doesn't. Price gets above it. Price is able to take out this supply, which means what? It means buyers are now in control, right? So now that we see that this low is in control, right? These buyers were able to get above these sellers here, this supply zone. Now we know buyers are in control. So what happens? Price comes back down, we hit the man, and we rally higher. That's all there is to it. It's all understanding who's in control. Is it buyers or is it sellers? And what you're doing is you start to understand, okay, well, there's a nice supply zone right here, and we break above it. Jordan, why does that happen? I wanted to short the supply zone. Why didn't it work out? It didn't work out because we know buyers are now in control. This is a shift in trend, okay? Before, sellers were in control. Now we see a shift in trend, and now buyers are in control. That's all there is to it, right? That's all there is to it. Okay, let me show you one more example here on URI, or on AMD, sorry. AMD, same thing, right? Very classic. Just keeping it simple, right? You don't have to go crazy. Just keep it very simple. You can see, very classic uptrend. Price goes up, we make a high. Price goes low, make a lower high. Sorry, higher low. Price goes up, we make a higher high. Low. What are we going to expect that's going to happen next? A higher high, right? Classic uptrend. Now, if we zoom out, we are still in a downtrend, right? But we are seeing a shift in trend. We're starting to see higher highs and higher lows. And the fact that this demand here was able to take out this high here, right? Now we know buyers are in control. This low should hold. Price comes down. We have this demand zone here, right? Price doesn't even reach demand, right? We can't even get down to it. Price starts to come crawling back up. We see the supply zone here, right? We have this nice gap lower, right? Fast move lower from this gap up here. Price comes up, and we just go right through it. And you're probably shorting here thinking, what am I doing wrong? It was a nice supply zone. You know, we went lower. Why is this not working? Because you need to understand higher time frame context, right? Buyers are still in control, right? This supply was not able to take out this demand. It wasn't even able to take out the demand down here, right? We couldn't even come down to this demand, right? So buyers stepped in early. So when we know buyers are defending this low, right, we're able to take out the supply over here. We know we're in a buyer's market. We know the trend is starting to shift up, right? You don't want to be shorting a supply. So all you do is you just don't take the trade. You just don't get in at the supply zone, right? You just wait and buy at demand only, right? We can even see down here, price comes down right to this demand, just like that. We tap it, immediately reverse. Beautiful trade, just like that. In one day, you're up. One day you're up 4R on a trade. All you're doing is sticking with trend, right? And then you see same thing. You're over here trying to short this supply, and thinking, boom, you get stopped out. Why did I get stopped out? Because this supply was not able to get below this demand, right? Buyers are still in control. Okay. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did enjoy it and want to join my mentorship, I do have a private mentorship where I am taking 15 people each month and turning them consistently profitable in just 8 weeks without relying on alerts and without trading more than an hour a day. So if you are interested in that, click the first link in the description. I have a few more spots open available for March, and I'd love to have you join on board. So with that being said, guys, if you did enjoy this video, feel free to leave a like, subscribe, let me know in the comments other videos I should make, and I'll see you guys in the next video.